But first, the world's biggest humanitarian disaster continues to claim victims as the war in Sudan drags on. On Wednesday, 20 months on since the conflict began, and the US called the actions of one half of the conflict genocidal and slapped sanctions on its leader. Mohamed Hamdan Dahl, known as Hemedti, leads the RSF paramilitary forces that have been battling the army for control of the country since April 2023. The army's also been accused of atrocities in a war that's cost a conservatively estimated 150,000 lives since it began. Our Olivia Bizot tells us more.
The genocide determination will have no immediate legal effect, but it includes sanctions that target RSF leader Hemedti. He will no longer be able to travel to the US, and his assets in the country have now been frozen. 7 RSF-owned companies in the United Arab Emirates have also been targeted, and it's expected the move could bring new scrutiny to the role of the Emirates in the conflict. But will this US announcement actually impact the situation on the ground in Sudan? Well, earlier I spoke to an expert from Human Rights Watch to better understand how such designations play out.
They are what the administration does with them and makes of them. So they set a historical marker. They inform the world how the US government perceives a certain event. And then they can garner and galvanize policy and funding in the US context in order to respond to humanity's worst events. Or they can just be a pronouncement and soon thereafter nothing happens.
While this genocide declaration sends a strong message, many argue it's too little, too late. They believe delayed international intervention has allowed the conflict to escalate, claiming tens of thousands of lives. For real impact, many insist that this declaration must be backed by stronger diplomatic efforts that curb foreign interference, protect civilians, and address the growing humanitarian crisis. Now, this isn't the first time the US has labelled genocide in Sudan. The US declared the atrocities in Darfur from 2003 a genocide. Yet, more than 2 decades later, the violence continues.